What is up, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today we're doing a brand new episode of the United Mexican States. Essentially, in the last episode, we did a little bit of debt management and paid off some of our debt, as well as employed a brand new fusion power plants. So we have that underway. We also embarked on a lot of infrastructure projects. We did, I think there was like a couple episodes ago, we did start the construction of a high-speed rail line between Mexico City and Puebla, and Mexico City is still being connected over to Querétaro. So soon enough, we are going to start the process of actually, we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Let's go over to transportation. We have a 1.26% deficit. Let's go ahead and connect Querétaro to Leon. This shouldn't be too expensive. Should be, we're gonna do about $80 billion there. We'll do 87 billion pesos there and see what that goes to. 1.32%. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down. We're gonna go to 700 pesos. Actually, we're gonna do 800, 900. Can we do 1,000 pesos here? We're gonna do maybe 900 pesos will work. So let's go ahead and increase the carbon tax to 900 pesos. Let's go over to CO2 emissions, and then we will see that it is on its way down. So that is good to see. Our deficit is at 1.07%. And can we go up? And our wealth tax is at 8%. Let's go ahead and increase this to a flat 10%. That will net us 333 billion pesos off of this. And I think the maximum we're going to employ is going to be 15%. Usually this is going to be a really good moneymaker for the economy and making sure that we are able to finance our own projects. Querétaro to Leon has begun, and apparently this was a bad choice and is considered a waste of public funds. So that is unfortunate. I really hate how it kind of says that, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, it's kind of mixed bag, like, because sometimes people would be like, yeah, why are you doing that, blah 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 blah. But other times, I mean, especially whenever you don't have that much, if you have like maybe 10,000 miles of train line, yeah, that'll probably make sense whenever it says that. But whenever you only have like less than 1,000, like Mexico does right now, that doesn't necessarily make sense whenever they're just like, yeah, no, why are you spending all this money on that, blah 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 blah. So kind of doesn't make any sense, but we'll go with it. Let's go over to total income, 12.8 trillion pesos. We are at budget excess 2.8 trillion pesos, and structural surplus is 11% of the GDP. Debt servicing is 0%. Public debt is 59% of GDP, and we have 18.4 trillion pesos worth of debt. Sectors nationalized is netting us 316 billion pesos, and Gini coefficient of income inequality between the rich and the poor is 43.94%. I think because we are at a 0.13% excess, we could in the future start to lower these tax brackets. We want to have maybe a 10% tax on the middle bracket, and I think the lowest we could do is a 1% tax on the low bracket. Or in all fair honesty, we could probably just eliminate the lower bracket. Basically, just if you're in the low bracket, we're not going to tax you at all, kind of thing. So inheritance, I think we're going to aim for a 10% inheritance tax. Real estate tax, we could go for about 250 to 300 pesos. Audiovisual tax will go to maybe 200. Gun tax, I think we're going to eliminate that. We don't make that much off of it, and it would be good to maybe encourage people to start buying guns, even though that could be contrary to our crime issue. And as for crime, we are on our way down in terms of crime. So we did start out with a 28.4 crime homicide per 100,000 inhabitants, and we are now at 25 per 100,000. So not too bad. I think we can go ahead and go to 2 million manpower here. Go ahead and send that over. 0.18% deficit now, and then we'll go ahead and ask for, can we go to 260,000 surveillance cameras? 66 million pesos off of that, and hopefully we don't lose too much approval. I possibly think we might, but we'll go ahead and see what happens. And then we're going to go ahead and make ourselves to the next quarter as well for that summit with the Caillou. We're also going to be increasing our relations with Cuba, hopefully getting them into our organization and getting them into our common currency. Maybe we can be like a really good intermediary between Cuba and the United States, as the United States and Cuba are not historically nice to each other. At least in the last 50 years, they have not been nice to each other. So what is the goal for today's episode? The goal for today's episode is going to be the creation of a new organization, which is going to be a political and economic military organization, which will encompass Central America and start a pact in order to protect Central America and increase our interests. So this should probably work. I mean, it was pretty easy to get the monetary unit up and running, which was way easier than I expected it. However, because there is a lot of diverse political opinion in Central America, at least it's more left-wing. Let's actually go and see political tendencies. So we are socialists. We have a lot of left-wing governments, so mostly left-wing except with El Salvador. So we do have communists, we have socialists, center left right here, including the United States. So for this defense pact, we're going to go ahead and call this the Alliance of Central Territories in the Americas. Yeah, I knew that wouldn't work. But we're going to go ahead and call it the ACT. So this is going to be Alliance of Central Territories, ACT, or ACT. And we're going to go ahead and place this in the city of Cancun. There we go, Cancun. So that will actually be able to have us reach out into the Caribbean and basically have our own defense pact that we are going to not only protect our Central American territories, but also at least a couple of territories in the Caribbean, basically giving us cause to increase our naval power. Let's go ahead and lower the membership dues to 0.2%. So we're going to do regional area and the continent. So the continent, and then we're going to take out the following countries. We're going to take out Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, any South American or North American country. Guyana, we're going to take out Honduras, Peru. We're going to put Puerto Rico in there. Suriname will be left in. The United States will be taken out. Uruguay will be taken out. Venezuela will be taken out. And we'll go ahead and allow all of these guys in except for our South American partners. So just any type of country that we basically want in the organization. Well, again, any type of country we want in the organization, we're just going to have like that are in the region, but no South American countries and no major North American partners, even though we want them to have like a say. Basically, like we obviously would want Canada and the United States in this, but this is more us expanding our sphere of influence rather than the United States expanding its sphere of influence. Political tendency of the act will be communist, socialist, and center left. We will not have a common religion, although I'm tempted to put Catholic, but this isn't a religious organization, so we don't really want to force them into it, especially since we're expanding out into the Caribbean. Do we have Cuba in here? Yes. Respect for human rights is flexible, and yeah, we're gonna do flexible. And membership vote, should we do 2/3 or unanimous? Because this is a defense organization, we're gonna follow the NATO rule and put unanimous. So the Alliance of Central Territories will be called the ACT, and the organization headquarters will be in Cancun. Go ahead and create that. Name a Secretary General for the ACT, and we're going to put one of our party members in there, Vincente Calamente. Very catchy name, I like that. And we're going to do support a organization, and we're going to support the ACT and the Caillou. So very, very excited to see where this goes. Alliance of Central Territories Secretary General takes office. Very, very excited to see that he is now a part of the ACT. All right, and so it is November 7th. We just had COP, and ironically, COP, so I'm recording this on the 26th of November. Also, 10 submarines were delivered by the United States, so further increasing our military power. I actually want to check. President Biden actually made an announcement saying that he will not be attending COP in the year 2023. So that was kind of interesting that he does not want to attend COP. Of all the presidents that I thought would not want to attend it, and there's really no reason right now, so it's more of a preliminary preliminary announcement right now. But I thought it was interesting because I'm just like, really, like, why would he not want to go to COP? Like, that is kind of out of character of him in order to not go to COP. Let's go ahead and do a 2.5 billion peso subsidy to the fuel industry. And do we want to exonerate it? How much income tax? This is 2%. Make a solar farm. And how much will this cost? 96.13 months. Jesus Christ. Wow. 123 terawatts right now. If you guys have not seen my energy tutorial, go ahead and watch it on my channel. Very, very excited that I got that out. It took me so long to finish that, and if you guys are interested in a new tutorial, I will be making a new tutorial which will have to do with elections. Very long-awaited tutorial from my channel, so I'm very excited to do it. We do have a new member that just applied to become a member of the ACT, and this is Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a very close friend of mine, so I'm very excited to accept them into the ACT. So go ahead and accept that application, and hopefully we get a couple more applications before the end of this episode. And we just got another application from Trinidad and Tobago. They have placed a membership request for our organization. We want to accept this into the ACT's heart. Go ahead and accept Trinidad and Tobago as well. Trinidad and Tobago, what is our relations right now? Right here. Yes. Oh, they are playable. I'm gonna try playing Trinidad and Tobago. I know there's a country in here. I do believe it actually is Trinidad and Tobago. It's either Trinidad and Tobago or it's another. It's not one of these. I swear it's Trinidad and Tobago. Like, half of the island is, and they actually had to change the I think it's this one. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yeah. It's a British possession. There's a island, and that's like the entire half of the island is completely, and I mean completely, blocked off because there was an eruption back in the 90s, and essentially like it quarantined like half of the island, and they have to move the capital. So they've had like this de facto capital of the country, of the territory, and they've never really had a capital since that volcanic eruption. Sector is up and running. Continuing to watch for any new developments in our countries or in our organizations' applications. Massive protests just broke out right now. Let's go ahead and check it out. Pacifists upset. So unfortunately, I can't do anything about it. A lot of people have been asking what's going on in the United States, and I'm gonna be totally honest, I have no idea. Their deficit is kind of normal for the time right now, 5.85%, but their GDP debt ratio is 116%. the inflation 2.56%, unemployment is 2%. I really don't know what the protests are about in the United States. Let's check for this next newspaper on Monday and see what the issue is. Let's go. Alliance of Central Territories accepted, and Costa Rica has been accepted. So we have two new official allies. So the first thing that I will do is I'm going to invite Costa Rica to a meeting, and we are going to invite them to, essentially, we're going to try to open a military base in Costa Rica. I think we're going to be going for a air base, so I'm very excited to do that. Poisoning. See, I can't even find anything in the newspaper. Storm in New York. Tragic death. Wait. There was another U.S. forest fire in Washington. EU member. What? No. Wait. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me right now? The United Kingdom has been admitted into the European Union. Of all the problems that the United Kingdom went through, hang on, I gotta see this. Are you freaking kidding me? The United Kingdom is now a member of the European Union, even after a huge political fiasco. So many governments that just were awful, like that just went through so much political instability, so much economic turmoil, inflation crises, and then of all of that, and the ending result is the United Kingdom back in the European Union. That is just insane to me. That is hilarious. I think that is going to be the highlight of this episode, and a lot of you guys are probably going to be loving that. Let's go to politics, Schengen area. They are not a part of the Schengen area, so it'd be really funny. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna be checking the Schengen area like every so often. So I would definitely kind of expect that the United Kingdom would be joining the Schengen area. Let's check our relations with Cuba. 31 right now. Let's go ahead and invite them to a free trade agreement, the reciprocal contract, try to get those relations up. Cuba, what else can we do? We have an immigration agreement with them already. Yes. Yeah. Hang on. Go over to immigration. Treaties. We have an immigratory one with Cuba, and definitely need to keep our emigratory one. If the United States cancels the emigratory agreement with us, we are absolutely screwed. We get 6.5 trillion pesos off of that agreement, and we will have an immediate economic crises on our hands when or if the United States does that. It is in our political and economic interests in order to intervene in the US elections to stop the Republicans from getting into office in 2028. So we will actually start doing that right now. So we're going to do Secret Service. We're going to go to number 1, the Sinaloa cartel. We're going to infiltrate them. We're going to do cybersecurity awareness, and we are going to do exterior managed networks. Who do we have? We're going to go to the United States. We're going to go down to the United States. We're going to do 200. We're going to do 200 agents here. Approach political groups. I'm going to approach the Democratic Union. And what else are we going to do? Cyber attack preparation. Definitely need to do some cyber attack preparation. Manipulation. No, we're not going to do manipulation of social media because that's mostly against the government that's in power. Political spying, industrial spying, and demolition of strategical objectives. We're going to go ahead and do that. Well, not the strategical objectives, at least not yet. So in El Salvador, we can actually start to try to get a lot of this going. CIA and drug trafficking, subliminal messages, and that's it for right now. So very, very exciting. Relative energy independence. I really like that. Basically, let's go back. I really want to find that one again. That one, basically. Madam President, our country depends to a certain extent on other nations to provide for its energy needs. Not speaking dramatically, this situation must make us think about the means at our disposal to free ourselves from this relationship. Our energy bill would be much reduced and we would then be protected from geopolitical and economic hazards. Basically saying, go ahead and start increasing your oil production and we will be able to have less of a dependency on not only oil, but from oil from other countries. So I do really want to do that. Someone did propose to me, basically saying we need to start the transition to a green economy. We will go ahead and dismantle. We're going to go ahead and dismantle 100 fossil energy plants. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of about 20 terawatts worth of electricity. That will bring us down to about 100 terawatts surplus. So we're going to go ahead and start the transition now to green energy and start investing more heavily into nuclear power, mainly fusion nuclear power, as well as onshore and offshore wind. So yeah, or mega offshore, because I know we get so much electricity off of mega offshore. I love the introduction of mega offshore wind, as this is a massive improvement to renewable energy, especially wind and solar, because they were it was kind of just encouraged you to use nuclear, and I never really used a lot of renewable energy. So documentary and healthcare planned. Let's go ahead and go to healthcare, and we are going to increase 216 billion cap. It's about $20 billion, I believe. In the next couple of episodes, we're going to be incrementally increasing our funding to healthcare. We want to have a very state-of-the-art healthcare system. We don't want to do much. And what I also want to do is that I want to go over here to health. And we're going to go over here and we're going to start focusing on reducing our largest causes of death. So we have diabetes, heart disease, digestive disease, and other types of cancer. Crime apparently causes 7.5% of deaths in Mexico. Diabetes is going to be the first one. So right here, it is hereditary, alcohol, tobacco, inactivity, insufficient quality of public health. So that one is going to be the biggest one that we want to try to solve, but we also want to start increasing our alcohol taxes, tobacco taxes, and also increase our, what is this, orphan diseases or genetic diseases. So we want to do increase funding to genetic diseases. We'll go ahead and actually fully fund that. And we will also do an additional funding measure to psychiatric departments. It increases it by 0.05%. We will also tax exemptions by capitalization, regulate the consumption of marijuana. We will go ahead and try to pass the decriminalization or legalization of marijuana. We'll go ahead and do the decriminalization of it, and it will not be able to go to the states. So 51%. Can we possibly convince Marina or another party to vote in favor of it? Because it'll barely pass. Or we can try to say active euthanasia. Maybe we can add that to the reform. Surrogacy altruistic act. Apparently it's just stuck at 51%. We could do a 10 peso. Yeah, we're gonna do 100 pesos here. We're gonna do a new reform. We're gonna call this the Health and Legalization Act. So we're going to do a 100 peso pension plan. We're going to try to get that up to at least 1,000 pesos. So we'll be having some more funding into our Social Security Administration. We're going to create the reform. Prohibited in all public places. We're also going to do surrogacy legal as a altruistic act without financial compensation for the surrogate mother, but we do have the goal of doing financial compensation for the surrogate mother and or no legal regulations, and thus it's de facto legalized. We're gonna hold off on that for right now. The main thing I want to do is start getting the money from the marijuana legalization. So we're going to do this, go to health and legalization, and that puts us right at 51. So we're going to get to the ending of that. And not only are we going to get to the end of the episode, we are also going to go to where we can increase the taxes on marijuana. And before we skip forward, Cuba has accepted our free trade agreement. So tariffs between our countries are reduced by 50%. This should improve our relations a little bit, but strategic relations are actually up. Imagine that me and Cuba sign a defense pact with each other, and they actually say, hey, the United States is invading me. Should I intervene and try to fight off the United States? How would we respond to that? How would the act respond to that? That'd be a very, very, very tricky scenario. But we're gonna go ahead and go to a little bit maybe before the end of it. We still have that Caillou organization meeting that we need to go to, so we're gonna go ahead and skip forward to that. All right, and we are now at the end of the year, so over the next couple of days we will be doing a lot. So one of the fusion power plants south of Puebla has actually been completed, so that does give us a huge bonus in electricity surplus. We have 158 terawatts worth of electricity that we are able to have, at least in reserve. We do have one more fusion power plant coming up online soon. So I believe coming over here, since we have one of them that's online and the other one that is about to come online, we'll go ahead and do another dismantlement. I think we're going to dismantle 200, so 40. Let's do 60. Let's do 60 terawatts. 40, 60.2, that's 300. 19.1 billion pesos is how much that will cost, and we'll get it done in about 4 months, 15,000 people. So that'll help us out here. So 60 of that, and then we're going to be able to make up the rest of it with that other fusion power plant. So I'm very excited for that. Actions. We also did do a discovery that we patented. We do have it was a long haul plane that we were able to complete the research of. So immediately right after I patented that, I went over to aeronautical construction and started to subsidize and exonerate it. We're actually going to do a 15 billion peso subsidy here and see what that does to our deficits. It doesn't do anything, but we are already making 62 million pesos off of the sales of this and 12.7 million in profit. So hopefully we do get a lot in terms of this industry. Hopefully we are able to keep up with the electricity demand that it requires. We will do a tariff on we don't need to do it on China. We're going to hold off on any tariffs on aeronautical construction right now. Just continue to do what we need to do. Electricity consumption or production in the Mexican fighters have been delivered. 1.38 trillion cash surplus, and then unhealthy housing situation, and the GDP in 2025 grew by 6.85%, and the GDP is now at 31.3 trillion pesos. So very, very excited to see that is just doing so perfectly that we need to be doing right now. Legislation treaties. So I tried to modify the Guatemala treaty, so it's still the same, so I'm glad. Illegal immigrants, still a lot of them coming in right now, so that's still on its way up. Go over to legislation and where is it at? Regularization. 196,000 people are ready to be regularized in Mexico. We're gonna wait for another 500,000 to be regularized whenever we want to. The other thing that we could possibly pull out of our pockets is a deportation order. I really never like to do the deportations. I'm not too comfortable with that. If we have to do the deportations, we will. We could do a double whammy where we basically do a regularization operation by the 200,000 and then deport at the same time. Usually we can regularize however many it says right here, but then whenever it comes to deportations, usually it's kind of like couple tens of thousands, and then usually sometimes, at least in the United States, have been able to deport up to like 800,000 people at one time. So deportation orders will get a lot of feedback, and whenever I say feedback, I'm saying riots and protests, but it is pretty effective at getting rid of illegal immigrants whenever you don't want them in your country. But again, that is not something I want to do because the situation is pretty manageable. It's not too bad. I also don't know why my net immigration continues to reduce. That's kind of bad because I want to continue to have a positive immigration rate like right now, but that's apparently not happening. I think it's actually because I'm increasing the amount of deportation centers that I have, the detention centers, because I'm building a bunch of them right now. So that is actually why. So that's kind of like a good thing, because I mean it's kind of balancing out our net immigration in the future, but it's still gonna have an adverse effect on what net immigration will look like right now. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the 10th of January, and that will be the CAIU summit. And once we're done with the CAIU summit, we will go ahead and end this episode. All right, and we are now at the CAIU summit. We are meeting today to determine interest rate value, yada, yada, yada. You guys have already seen this. Go ahead and suggest the highest interest rate that we can. And El Salvador, we're going to go ahead and meet with them on the 17th. So that'll be in the next episode. And go to the next day. New interest rate, 0.13%. Hopefully we can continue to get that up. I really want to get that up as high as I can. Really want it to be at least at 2%. Once we can get it to 2%, I'm going to be fine and dandy, because then I can control my own inflation with my taxes, and, you know, canceling contracts whenever I need to, everything like that. Stock market is doing pretty good. And our GDP as world share. Exports are up and imports are down. Good. And price of oil is down. So lots of good things going on right now. Go over to other organizations or new organizations. And this will be the ACT, the Alliance of Central Territories. Founded in Cancun in 2025, we have 3 member countries right now representing a total population of 139.94 million people and a GDP of 33.32 trillion pesos. This includes Costa Rica, Mexico, and Trinidad and Tobago. So 1 Caribbean country and 1 Central American country. CAIU is still about a year old, and then so almost about a year old. Founded in Puebla in 2025, 9 member countries so far, and I believe that it will be the max because we already founded every single country that we wanted in the CAIU. Total population of 195 million people, so we're about to breach 200 million people within the next couple of years. Total GDP right now in pesos is 40.4 trillion, and economic effectiveness is 1 star. Defensive effectiveness is 1 star. And ACT has no stars as of right now. Maybe it'll come back in the future. Publicly support an organization. Go ahead and publicly support both of these organizations right now. Very excited to see that Mexico is expanding its sphere of influence, and not only its sphere of influence, but its geopolitical arms. So very excited to see that our geopolitical ambitions are coming to fruition, and in the next episode we will start concentrating on opening some military bases in our ally territory. So Costa Rica will have a military base, and we will try to increase our relations with Trinidad and Tobago. So we'll also do, real quick before we go, sign a bilateral agreement with Trinidad and Tobago, and they accept it. So try to start increasing those relations, and then we will open a military base in their territory next time. So guys, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss anything whenever I do make it on the channel. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.